This is 22 January, days after you guys have returned.
Oh my God, you're filming me.
Yeah, well, if you're uncomfortable, I'll shoot myself too.
It's okay, it's all right.
I visited, this is testimonials.
All right.
I visited Big Picture in 2005, November 2005. I went back there in 2012, and I was just recently there December 2013. Now, what did you see?
Okay, well, first of all, I'm John Martini. I'm the physical education teacher.
Cool,
Right?
okay.
I went up there expecting something.
What had you done beforehand? You'd read a few websites?
No, actually, I didn't know anything about the school.
Oh, you didn't?
No, I went up there not knowing much about the school. And when I got up there, I was pretty amazed.
On the airplane, they must have said, look, we want you to go onto this airplane in order to... What got you to get on the plane?
I knew the schools were different from ours.
Okay.
I knew that Connie wanted us to see like
Sure,
a
she
different type of school. Wow. I get nervous.
Don't get in front of the camera. Yeah,
This side.
keep recording.
Cut.
Yeah, I'm next.
Cut. There's
No.
So, Ms. Q, before you went to visit the Met, what did you know about the school?
Okay. I'm grateful that we were able to go, honored to have gone. And my name is Miss Pauline Kwaku. I teach ELA at University Charter School. It's a great school, but our vision is to have kids, students that have ownership of what they're doing, and that we don't grade them only on FCAT and standardized tests. So our mission was to have kids that we can teach in a different way to get them to learn, not just learning and testing, but just learning as a whole. So since the mission and our vision was part of the schools in Boston, like the Met and the Margarita Muniz School, we decided to go visit so we can see, compare the visions and see if we can adapt some of the, some of what they're doing to bring it back to Miami. And what I was impressed with is the fact that when we got to the Met school, the schools were more focused. I could see that they took ownership of what they were doing. They presented, and also I was so impressed with the fact that they have 9th and 10th graders doing internships, okay, to prepare them for what they need to do when they get to college. And some were even taking college courses, to enhance their college degrees. There's another point that really got me was the fact that they have this young man, I don't know whether it was 10th grader, the one that has already bottled his Mexican sauce and that he was going to sell it. He's just about to market it.
Right. So, he's actually already an alumni, and he goes back.
He goes back.
He goes back to...
So there are a lot of good things that we can incorporate River City Charter Schools, and I'm happy that we went. Thank you.
Nothing! They brought all the kids together. They brought all the kids together, and they had the counselors up on stage, and they're asking the counselors some questions about their personal lives, and it was just kind of like bringing everybody together.
When you say counselor, these are their advisors.
Yeah.
So they're being vulnerable. That's the idea.
The advisors.
They're being vulnerable.
Yeah, and that's a good point. Yeah,
vulnerable. So that's procedure.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, they're putting the advisors up there, and
the
they have to open up.
Yeah,
and they're like up there, and they're asking them questions, and personal questions, and it got the kids. One of the things that it got the kids motivated to start their day, because a lot of the kids, they came in the door, they're like, they're kind of like slouching.
Well, it's cold.
And then they're like, oh, and then after that, they had all this energy. So it was interesting.
They call it, is it pick me up?
Yeah, the pick me up.
Pick me up. That's how they start their day. And I know we were thinking, well, how can we get it started? Can we stick them all in the cafeteria in the morning or right here in the parking lot, right in that little open area? The idea of, can we? Or if not, then we just really need to do the same activity in our own individual classrooms.
Well,
Yeah,
and
but
that's essentially
that's high school too.
Well, but that's essentially what connections is. It's the same idea because what it is what it is underscoring the fact that we're going to come here and now we are all connected as human beings. We're all having this experience together now, and we're committed to the experience and we're committed to each other. And what John says is true. That's high school and this is middle school, and so what they connect, how they go about creating that connection looks a little bit different. These kids are not as mature. They're not going to have these incredibly profound statements to make. But you know what? When they connect that, well, last night I went home and I did this and I did that and I did that and then I did my homework and then I went. That is their reality, and they're connecting it because they want you to know their reality, and it is just as significant for them to communicate that silly little thing from us, from our perspective, as it is for the high school kids to connect, at a more profound level. And by creating the ritual, and this is why I've always stressed, by creating the ritual of connections, you open the space for the opportunity when it is needed.
It's a safe space.
And I will never forget that 2 years ago, during Connections, one of the kids that was at our school said her connection was, I was sitting out on my step last night with my cousin, and there was a drive-by and she got shot.
Wow.
Her cousin?
Her cousin.
Shot like dead?
Got shot, not dead. She went with her to the hospital. And I say to myself all the time, I wonder if she would have been able to share that if there had not been that space there and had not been that expectation. She hadn't had that knowledge that as soon as I get in the classroom, all those people are going to be there, and we're going to have this 5 minutes where we all just stop what we're doing and we all just talk to each other. And I know that's the space where I'm going to be able to say, this happened to me.
Is that a procedure you currently have in your school called Connection?
Yes. We're supposed, yes.
Right. Yeah, it's hard in the press to always remember to do it, I guess.
Yeah.
But how does it work in your school, ideally? I mean, the kids walk in, you do attendance.
We do, the day starts actually with connections amongst staff. So at 7:45 we have staff connections. 7:45 to...
Kids are outside?
7:45 there aren't too many kids here.
Okay.
So, and then, so it's 7:45 to 8 o'clock we have staff connections. And then staff has their planning time, and then school starts at 8:45. And...
That's advisory.
And the concept is that advisory class begins with connections. What that looks like in each teacher's class, you have to go and ask the teacher.
Sure. But it's something that the teacher leads, I
But
guess.
the expectation is that you're doing some kind of morning ritual.
Can you model? What you see the ritual? Oh, okay. What's your model?
I started something called News of the Day. News of the Day.
News of the day.
News of the
Okay.
Day.
So it's neutral.
Thank you. Just tell me what happened at home before you got here. And so I started by saying I woke up at. So you just fill it in.
So you're modeling for the kids.
Woke up at 6, I took a bath, whatever. And some of them make fun of it and say, oh, how they to put their clothes on before they took a bath, and we all laugh at it. No, but it's a connection. It starts them writing, it starts them telling me something. See?
And by having that, that's your point, that the kid can say, well, here's something I can share. I know there's a safe place where I can talk about what just happened.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know, especially at the middle school level, and especially in 6th grade, and Hugh has a 6th grade, she has a 6th grade advisory, and at 6th grade, it has to be really structured, and you know, because they're still kids when they're in
The
6th grade.
first time they're
you know?
speaking in public, maybe.
But if you create that ritual, and they do it in 6th grade, and they do it in 7th grade,
Yes.
and they do it in 8th grade. By the time they reach 8th grade, they have this rapport built.
Yes.
And the one thing, like today, we had 5 8th graders from last year came to school after school today.
Okay, 5
From last year's 8th graders, who are now in freshman in high school, they all came to the school after school. They come back, they connect, they have that.
Home.
They have that need to reconnect with what they felt, with an environment where they felt seen and heard and cared about.
I want to cry because that's essentially what Big Picture did.
Yes.
Yeah.
Big Picture's students come back all the time to
Well,
use the computers,
the
to
alumni
see
that you
people.
talked about, the one that she was talking about with the machu, what's it called, machu sauce?
Flavio's macho sauce.
He's an alumni. He comes back and he's now giving back because that's part of it. Is they give back. They want to come back and give back.
Yeah.
You know, part of what.
2 of the kids who came today, they came back because they want to set up an arrangement to be able to do their community service hours here.
Oh, that's cute.
That must make you feel so good.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, well, and
You
that's
can't
the-
buy
That's
that.
nice.
But
You
exactly.
can't buy that.
No, you can't, and
Yeah.
that's why it's so
You can't measure it with a test.
you can't
Thank you.
measure it.
Well, I just measured it. You got numbers. Tell me one middle school that has people coming back. I'm too cool. I'm in a high school now. I'm not going back to that middle school anymore.
Back to- yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, and they do, and we have a student who transferred to a different middle school. He did 6th and 7th here. He transferred to a different middle school for 8th grade. There's a whole bunch of family dynamics and stuff. Long story short, he has to stay there. He comes to our school every day after school. He comes here every day after school to come do his homework here.
Sweet.
Wow.
You know,
That,
because
that,
this is home.
that makes me feel like you've really created something here.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
You know, it's not just a building.
No, it's
No.
definitely not just a building, but it's so hard, given the atmosphere that we are currently in education. It's so hard to convince anybody that that's important.
Yes.
You know, and